Hi, and welcome to Oracle Storytelling. I am Sarah of Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts, and welcome to this end of July edition, to this, I'm hoping I'm talking loud enough edition. I have moved since last time, and I have a lot of water around me, which is appropriate because I'm kind of feeling this watery energy right now. Calling this "Let the Tides Come In" edition, and so this kind of pulsing external noise that we hear, or that we're feeling right now, kind of rushing into us or through us, or we're bracing ourselves from. I guess it is appropriate, and I hope I'm talking loud enough for this. Did I say hi? I'm Sarah of Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts. Welcome to whatever kind of day you're having or night you're having. I feel like I need the power of water behind me to kind of be present and be here right now. Putting on a little bit of like sparkle, like water, bringing in, that Hyperstein love, rocking my little Clueless pin, which I love. Um, it's just one of those purchases of quarantine, and I've also watched the movie like about a million times. So today, I decided to do oracle storytelling in a way that I've done many times, and kind of how I started doing these videos, which is I asked a friend, Missy, thank you so much, and if any of Missy's family helped pick some numbers, thank you very much. Thank you for helping. So I've asked Missy to give me 4 numbers, 1 through 10, and 4 numbers, 1 through 100. And those are going to correlate to a page number in a book, and also the number of paragraphs that I count down to read the passage in the book. What I typically do is use the number 1 through 100 to get the page number, and then the number 1 through 10 I count down for the paragraph. And I realized that the first 2 books, what I've done is I've actually used the reverse of that. So I was actually using the lower numbers for the first half and the higher numbers to start guiding me on the second books. But again, thank you very much, Missy. And I'm just kind of feeling this water, this flow energy coming in. And let's see where we are flowing to and what's going on. Okay, let us see. And I love when this happens, because sometimes when the first number lands on a passage in a book that's a chapter title, I just love that. So we actually landed on a chapter called Spider Woman. So just keep that in mind, those words, Spider Woman, and whatever that evokes for you, from this mythical person to, maybe it makes you think of Spider-Man or what have you, but just kind of Spider Woman, that's the tone. So Spider Woman. Many cultures around the world believe that all of the world's creatures are connected by a strong but delicately woven web. The Pueblo Indians credit the spinning of this web of life to a creation goddess so potent that her true name was never spoken aloud. Some call this goddess Spider Woman. She is also honored as Thought Woman because everything was created from her thoughts. Okay, so we kind of start off at the point of creation and connection, and I know right now we are feeling this kind of interconnectedness in positives and negatives ways, in our minds and bodies. So we start with not just Spider Woman, but Thought Woman. So we're creating with our thoughts, and let's keep this in mind. Let's see where this takes us next. loneliness. So maybe you're feeling, maybe we're feeling a little extra lonely right now. Loneliness. We may feel isolated from friends and family or have a lasting sense of being lonely in a crowd. Oh boy, yeah. So we're starting out, imagine, we're the creator, we're the creator, we're the creator goddess, God, whatever. And what we see around us, we're, we're acknowledging and putting belief and truth and navigation through. And maybe we're finding ourselves right now feeling a bit lonely. We're feeling this loneliness. Feel isolated. Yeah, I mean, hilarious, right? Do you feel isolated from friends and family? I mean, I do. I definitely do. That's interesting. Okay, so our thoughts are taking us to a place of isolation, of loneliness. Okay. Well, let's see. Maybe we can help ourselves through that. Let's see what's next. When I talked to Betty Jo, however, I found that she had only taken a baby step forward. Okay, so we're like taking some small steps. She said, "It has improved some, Dr. Chapman. Bill is giving me verbal compliments as you suggested, and I guess he is sincere, but he's still not spending any time with me. He is still so busy at work that we never have time together." No comment, but okay. So let me just pull my head away for a second. Okay. So we're having these feelings, and our next step is maybe a baby step. So we're acknowledging some change, but we're still focused on the things that haven't changed, which it's a trap. That's a trap, and that's definitely a trap. We may feel, it's hard to kind of pull away from that sense. We may feel like we want things to be different sooner than they can be, because that's super normal, and that's just us kind of hearing our ego a little louder than our heart. But okay, so taking baby steps. So I think mentally, let's say we're starting to take baby steps and we're focusing on some of the positive things that are happening, that we feel like this is good, right? But we're still worried. We're still a little worried, we're a little isolating ourselves. Like we're worried about, well, but this other change isn't here. Okay. Gotten into it, got the thoughts coming out. We're not feeling super great, but we're starting to pull ourselves out, right? Let's see where we end up. Hopefully in a much happier place. So let's see. Taking more baby steps, let's say, where will we end up? 67. No matter how deeply entrenched in conflict someone appears, no matter how deeply entrenched in conflict someone appears to be, the willingness to respond with compliments instead of criticism is a vital way to raise our vibration as announcers of well-being. It's interesting already because we're the focus in the last passage is, oh, there was compliments. So here we're saying the willingness to respond with compliments instead of criticism is a vital way to raise our vibration as announcers of well-being. It's so loud out here. I hope this volume is loud enough. Noting that whether they choose to receive our acknowledgement may reflect how overwhelmed they are in their own healing journey. Meanwhile, our willingness to open up, even when others lash out or shut down, confirms the beauty of our ever-growing expansion. Okay, well, I feel like we made some good progress. We're ending up in a place where we can see the difference between compliments and criticism. And sometimes, again, we just kind of get ahead of ourselves and our ego talks. And we just in that moment, we can't stop ourselves. But definitely, when we're choosing compliments over criticism, we definitely are announcers of our own well-being. We're acknowledging the wellness in ourselves, the wellness that we see in our environment, in our interactions with others, the wellness that and value that we see. Noting that whether they choose to receive our acknowledgement may reflect how overwhelmed, aren't we all crazy overwhelmed right now? I think that's like, you know, the whole idea of like the tide coming in and letting the tide come in right now. It can be very scary, right? It can be very scary if you feel very overwhelmed and you have, you know, you may just hear something in your head and you're hearing these negative things. You may feel things coming at you. And it's how, you know, your perception of this. But you think about what happens, you know, after the tide comes in and it washes out, and you think that all that's really beneath there, is it really just this big crashing tide? You know, is that what really lingers and lasts? You know, are you just kept under the water? No, you know, it's an ebb and a flow, and it does reveal a lot that you weren't initially focusing on, you weren't concentrating on, you really weren't seeing. So yeah, we're all really you know, we all hit points of overwhelm. A lot of us are very overwhelmed or feel like our navigation system is off when we're focusing on the external outcome. That's a trap. That's a trap every time. But yeah, you know, and it really is everyone's own personal healing journey. I think as, you know, somebody who, you know, tries to lead with their empathic heart, and, you know, when you're looking at others and you're seeing so much, you're feeling so much of what's going on, it can, you know, that alone can be overwhelming. But if you're feeling that, I mean, you can kind of sense the overwhelm in others, and I think the best thing to do is have compassion for yourself, and then that just leads to more compassion for the other person, so you can kind of see them in a clearer way. You know, like that, the tide going out, you can kind of see, you know, see a little clearer, because sometimes when you're kind of in the ocean of life and around other people, you just feel the ocean. You're not really feeling the moment. You know, you're waiting for the moment to change so you can breathe. But you're kind of, you know, you are the one holding your breath, if that makes sense. So meanwhile, our willingness to open up, even when others lash out or shut down, confirms the beauty of our ever-growing expansion. And I think that's the most important part, is the willingness to stay open. Not necessarily, you know, I'm not saying stay open to any kind of, you know, abuse or any kind of abuse. Not staying open to that. Not trying to navigate, justify, and rationalize that, but staying open to your life, staying open to what you don't know. That's another mental thing that I'm not surprised that's how the story went. I just kind of flipped open this book earlier, The Singer and the Nightingale by Donald Walters. And I just looked at this and I just let my eyes kind of go to this one passage that says, man may be the measure of all things, commented the jay, like jaybird, with a touch of sarcasm. But does he measure accurately? So man may be the measure of all things, but does he measure accurately? And, you know, that's the thing about the thoughts that we have. Maybe I'll wait a second, just because loud sirens, and I already think it's going to be such a loud video. But that's the thing about our thoughts is, you know, what kind of accuracy can we really get from our thoughts? You know, are they even our ideas? Are they even our feelings? Sometimes we latch onto a thought so hard and we put such a firm belief and concrete foundation behind it, that the only thing we can do is, and we like anchor it, we kind of like chain it up to our leg and we drag it around everywhere. And if there's, any kind of obstacle, we got to figure out a way to kind of navigate, justify, and use it to kind of break, bust through the obstacle with this belief. And it's a really easy thing to do. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. But when we rely on the thoughts we have to anchor a sense of well-being and truth and nourishment and kindness and compassion and love and self-responsibility and all these things, if we anchor that to our thoughts and we let it just be that, it's a trap, and it's never going to be enough to just expand us. That alone will not expand us. That will lead to a lot of trial and error and, discernment, figuring out what we don't like. But it also can prolong how long it takes us to figure out what we like or what we don't like. If a thought drops in, we're like, and that's the truth. And then we spend the next week or month or years living by that, if that makes sense. So, and I just brought in, like, isn't that beautiful? So this is this is a piece of wood that I've painted. I call this type of wood that I find in nature magic wood, and I paint it. And this is something that I took with me to one of the last goddess circles, and it's just got this beautiful, crystalline, watery love, divine feminine love in it. So I just kind of have been sitting with it out here today too. Yeah, I'm really just getting energy for this through just the idea of bringing in water. And if I think about, water and thoughts, I guess that's kind of like 101 how meditation is taught. The idea of, a thought comes in, you let the thought go out, right? You don't teach, clearing the mind, opening up, kind of all these health benefits to meditation. Nobody's like, a thought comes in, you chase it down an alley, you hold it against a wall, you examine it, you take it in for questioning. No, it's a thought comes in, you let it come in. You don't have to judge the thought. It is what it is, and you let it go away. 17 more thoughts come in, you let them come in, you just, and that's kind of something to be thinking like as just a living meditation, just in life, you let thoughts come in, and it's okay, and they're there. But, we all know, or at least I completely know, the difference between, having a thought and not writing a manifesto about it, or obsessing about a thought. We know the difference. It's a felt difference. Does it feel good to obsess about anything? No, it does not. It feels very unsafe. We feel very uncomfortable. We don't feel like it's okay to be where we are and who we are. We do not feel like we're enough, or we have enough time, or the time is on our side, or blah, blah, blah. So just, again, thought comes in, especially if it's a shitty thought, say, you know what, I don't even know if this is my thought, probably isn't even something I'm thinking, it's just kind of dropping in, uninvited house guest, let it out, okay? Or visualize even, just like, and thought, putting the little thought in the garbage, taking the garbage to the curb, coming back in, watch Netflix. So I'm just gonna do, from Energy Oracle cards, I'm just going to do, and big surprise, I chose the blue deck because I'm just feeling all watery. I don't know. What do we want to know? What's a lovely God, let go, which makes me just want to lately. But let go. So let go. I'm just going with let go, whatever that means to you. And let's see what card comes up. Maybe 2. Whoa. Okay. So let go. Envy. I mean, that's pretty. I know it seems like a pretty blunt, obvious one, like, grass is greener, all that stuff. So what to let go of? Being envious of another person's situation or something like that. Being envious of, the whole grass is greener thing comes to mind. Being envious of the way somebody else spends their time. Not that they have more time than you do, but like how they spend their time. I mean, yeah, grass is greener. My God, look. She's like, I am very cold and I live in this dark castle and oh, look at that golden field and castle. I mean, and again, it's thoughts, it's perception, how we're perceiving things, right? Maybe her castle is like platinum and dope and covered in jewels, but she's just like standing at that one window being sad, We've all done that. Hello. And then the other thing, 20 and 21. Interesting. And this is Oracle, but in Tarot, blah, blah, blah. 20 and 21, might be the sun and the world. So huge shifts in perspective. The world, everything going on in your life, just everything coming in, crashing in. So, let go and strategy. That's really interesting. And I like that because, so when you think let go, well then, you wouldn't strategize. That's not letting go, that's diving in. Well, it's a more conscious way. When we sit and we write our thoughts, it's a big shift. Like if you don't have to love writing all the time, but if you've ever had something looping in your head and then you write it out in a journal, write it on paper, and it shifts your perspectives, it alleviates this tension, this energetic frustration building up, whatever it may be, whatever fear is like in you. Oh yeah, and even journaling. Yeah, so journaling, right? So let go by maybe doing that type of exercise. Or strategies, being a little more focused, like, I'm not a big person who writes a list of exact things that I want and when and how, but I do like the idea of listing things that you want and then imagining how you would feel, and then you connect with that feeling and you can get that feeling like now, and it can be very satisfying when you're not like having your ego in your ear saying, yeah, but it's not real. Like, no, it is. That's the feeling you want and you can achieve it now, and the more you get comfortable with that feeling, the more natural it is for you to do and take steps towards an activity or something that grants you that. That's my thought. So, again, thank you so much, Missy. And if Brian and Lauren and Taco and Luna and Bowie helped any, thank you so much. Very, very helpful. I hope this gave you some happier thoughts or ideas on how to shift thoughts. And in reverse order, the books that I read from today were Everything is Here to Help You by Matt Kahn, love. Oldie but a goodie, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. You can relax and overcome stress, says this book. Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. There you go, another Change Your Thinking by Mike George. Oh. And The Book of Goddesses, A Celebration of the Divine Feminine by Chris Waldher. And she also has a tarot deck of these goddesses, same artist. It's a nice tarot deck. So I don't know where I'll be the next time I shoot a video. I could be here, I could have moved. I'm pretty damn sure I'll be giving myself an at-home haircut because it's too much, and it's just gonna happen. But loud noises aside, you are loved, you are always enough, you are always able to be one with your breath, and when you're one with your breath, you are connected to a beautiful, safe, loving heart inside of you. And with all those other noises popping up behind me, I'm gonna say blessings, love, and until next time.